Okay, we're going to take our knife, our detail knife again, and hopefully I don't bump into the camera as much because I want to bring this up as high as possible. And it's going to be kind of sideways, sorry. But you're going to take, instead of a medium cut, and draw where your pencil is. Not too deep, not too shallow, just a nice, firm cut. Let me see, can I bring my elbow up? This is going to be it's kind of funny for me. I don't usually carve with my elbow up in the air like that. So you just drew with your knife. So can I do this without goofing up or hurting myself? Draw me, this is kind of sharp down and then slope back up. Okay, you got that done. Now the first thing we want to do, well, we got it like this, is I'm going to carve a little deeper here. We're going to create a chip cut. So there's cut number 1, cut number 2 on the other side here. Cut number 1, cut number 2. All right, now here's cut number 3, is you're just going to pop that little thing out of there like that. Same with on this side here. Pop that right out of there like that. See, can I lift my elbow and do it again here? Popping that out of there. And you're popping that out of there. Now you're beginning to see that the eyeball, how can we do this like it's so good? Nice shadow there. Is that good shadow there? Is that we're starting to round out the eyeball. Can you see that? So I'll start with one eye here. Elbow up. And you're just going to, what you're doing is you're just rounding that little piece of wood in there, and you're rounding it as a little eyeball there. You come up first, and then you come down. Come down. Oh, I need a little light here. Get over here. Get out of there. So he's rounded pretty decent. Might need to straighten out later, but here we want to carve up first. And down, and you're just rounding it. With just the sharp tip of your knife, you're rounding it. Now, it may not be perfect. I can work on it a little later, but I want to just move right along. I want to erase that pencil there. See if I can do that. And I erase that without hurting the carving. There, yeah, I can. Okay, now I want to start erasing the pencil with the tip of my knife here. Elbow up. And just kind of erasing. I'm going to erase those chip marks there too at the same time. Oops, where are you? Getting those pencil marks out of there. At the same time, what I want to do is again, you need the tip of your knife to really be sharp, or you can use a chisel to do this, and you're going to scoop right there on the cheek, middle cheek, bring in the bottom eyelid up, eyelid in. All right. Oops, sorry. Same thing. Let's do a little bit of erasing. At the same time, we want to do a little scoop. I'll do a little more scooping over here. There we go. Now you can see we got the the eye cleaned out, and we got the bottom eyelid. So my cleaned eye still, that pencil mark still kind of gets me there. Now hopefully that is, I gotta look at it. Let me look at it straight on. Yeah, it's not perfect because I think this eye needs to be a little deepened, just a little bit. Widened, pardon me, not deepened. All right, now I'm going to take a very small, where'd my small V tool go? I want my tiny, it's a tiny V tool. I should have brought that, sorry. I should have brought it out and been ready with it. This is very nice, very tiny in this particular case. And I'm going to draw just around, probably barely a 1/8 of an inch above the eye. That creates that eyelid. Let me fix it a little bit. I'm not too comfortable with it, but there you go. Same with on this side. I think it's pretty good. Okay, one more thing we're going to do around the eye there is take our knife and we are going to cut this little, I don't know, there's a little slit here, so it kind of continues on with the top of the lid and just this little cut. And then you're going to cut this chip out. And you're going to cut this chip out. See how that adds that little extra. Okay, here, same thing, kind of going along in the same direction as the upper lid. Oops, I think I may have cut a little too much there. Oops. That's what I meant by you only want to cut as far as you want to cut, but I think I went too far there. But he's an old man, we could probably fix that. Now we got the face, most of the nose, maybe a little trim. Nose is not bad, cheeks, all that. Everything is good, except now, look at the profile, is we want to get the forehead done. The forehead's a little too big. Now you could, if you got too much meat or too much wood on the forehead, if you want to draw a line right here, and then you keep this as the hair, let's do that. Why not? You can either use it as a forehead, just we'll trim the forehead, but let's put a little hair in there just to add a little extra. Why not? Why not? Oops, geez, I keep hitting the tripod here. And again, let's see, do I have my elbow up? That's the easy part. Now the hard part. Finishing the stop cut. Again, you probably could have used the chisel. Okay, now I want to bring the forehead under the hair. Now when I cut on the forehead, I want to be careful not to cut too much above the eye. In other words, don't cut from here on. Because what we want to do is we want to keep the forehead, what do you call it, eyebrow bone. And you do that by just kind of scooping a little bit like this. A little more scooping. Oops, did some to the hair. There's that eyebrow bone. And after you get it to a point where you're pretty well content, then you take your V tool again and you cut in this direction. Now you could, I just like to do it this way because it's much easier to just kind of V tool in the eyebrow than actually creating on an island and then do the V-cut. You could do that too. Here it's a lot simpler. I like to make things a little simple. Okay, take a look at it. Now if it gets a little bushy, in other words a little tall, you can always trim it up out of there. Looking good so far. So far, so good. Let's create a little shadow here. I keep hitting the camera with my visor. All right, and that's all finished off with a little V-tooling. Okay, let's work with the beard here. We'll work with the beard here, get the beard rolling. In fact, I can take the visor off now. Oi. Now, there's a lot of ways that you can carve the beard. You can carve it out, get that, let's get that out of there. You could probably even leave it like this and call it good. Sort of a folk artish kind of a beard. Call it good. Paint it. Whatever. One thing that I like to do is to either take my knife or chisel and start creating those little bumps we were talking about. Not bumps. Opposite of bumps. Scoops. You can do that. Get your chisel, get your knife. Now I like to keep that on this part, on the tough part. That's what I usually. That's good enough. I mean, you could on the tufts you could use a V-tool. You can make it look like an animal skin. But I'm going a little deeper than that with the beard. I'm going to really dig in there. And myself, I don't have to pencil, but I'm going to pencil anyways. And I'm going to just do this. Let's put some little character into it. And the beard comes like this. Here. Come down. Now I'm going to take my rough out knife because I'm going to have to put a lot of pressure and doing the same thing like I've been doing, like adding shadows, but this is a lot deeper and wider, and this thing has a little more curve to it, a little more, and it's a little more wider too, deeper and wider. Oh, be careful of that mouth. This would not be the first time I goofed up the mouth. Cleaner. Same thing, let's deep and wide.